Happy Tuesday, another day, another video. Today I had something on my mind when I woke up and I was journaling about it, so I figured I'd share it with you guys and gals. I apologize for the lighting. I'm currently standing outside of a client site right here in the city, and it's evening, so the lighting is going to be whatever I can scrounge up from the neighboring street lights. Which we got right over there, right? Anyway, forgiveness. Oh man. Remember I told y'all a while back I wanted to focus more on the internal journey and the internal healing that happens when people who've been through it, through abuse, whether it's from narcissistic ex or a family member or whatever the case may be, are like, okay, how do we pick up from there? And one of the key things that we struggle with as people who are survivors of abuse is forgiveness, right? A common theme that you'll see going forward is, how do we get revenge? What's the best kind of way to make a narcissist suffer? How can we crush them? This, that, and the third. That's all well and good, and of course, as you'll see you'll do any search on YouTube, the first 5 videos of like how to have revenge on a narcissist, right? How to crush them, how to break them, how to destroy them, and other such colorful verbs. But there's not a lot of talk about forgiveness, right? How do you forgive someone who's hurt you? How do you forgive someone who's abused you? How do you forgive yourself for allowing them to get away with that, even when your inner voice is telling you these people are not healthy for you? What I've learned is that forgiveness is a daily choice. It's not like a one and done kind of thing. It's not a set it and forget it. We're good, everyone's happy, blah. It's a daily choice. And especially if you spent a lot of time with a narcissist or they're part of your family forever, you're going to be constantly aggravated and reminded of the abuse. There's just no going around it. Now, if this person is a friend, a coworker, well, it's much easier to cut them off and move on with your life. But sorry to say, most of us do not have that luxury. Most of us don't. Now, how do you forgive? Well, it's more of a mindset thing than anything, right? The mindset is, number one, you got to understand that payday is not always Saturday, but it's always direct deposit, which means whatever nonsense they doing to you or they did to others or they're going to do to others, it's going to wind up blowing back on them eventually, if not right now. And I can guarantee you, if you look at the life of a narc, you'll see a lot of failures, you'll see a lot of shame, you'll see a lot of things in which are just out of order. Because these people kind of like putting up a show of having it all together, but in reality, because they're so busy screwing everybody over, well, guess what? Karma's not going to just leave them untouched. It's like, okay, you go dig deep, you find out that they're not doing as great as they say. They're not in as happy as a relationship as they say. They're not enjoying life as much as they say, right? So you got to understand that the universe, God, karma, fate, whatever you want to call the higher powers that be, has got your back. Believe it or not. Understand that the higher powers have your back. Good always wins out over evil. Evil wins a couple of battles here and there, but good always wins the war. Period. At the end of the day, that's what wins out. So having a good heart, having ethics, having integrity, that's the way to be. Okay? Not just any old like, oh, I'm going to be out here and, lie and cheat and steal and break people and all that. No. That's not the way. And I know it's tempting to want to mimic those ways to a certain extent because you see these individuals doing that, but don't do it. It's going to blow back on you. So keeping that in mind that they're going to get their comeuppance, well, why should you hold on to the bitterness? Why should you hold on to the hate? It's a daily choice, right? Hating, anger, bitterness is natural. Resentment is natural. You are not broken for feeling like you want to string their name up with a bunch of 4-letter words every time they come into your mind. You're not broken for feeling sad, for losing time, money, emotions, health, wealth, connections on these people. You're not broken for feeling that way. And I know a lot of people would like to censor you, like, oh, don't say that, blah, blah, blah. God is love and all this other stuff. But the reality is, yeah, it's okay to feel that way. Experience that. But keep in mind that you will overcome that in some form or fashion. Now, a couple of years from now, whatever, you will overcome it if you put your mind to it. They are stuck. They're stuck in their mindset of using people for reactions and resources. That's what they're convinced on doing. And if you see it from that point of view, that you're free, they're not. They are working under eternal debt to karma. They are permanently damaging themselves and others. The decision to forgive becomes easier. Forgiveness is not the same as forgetting. You're not going to forget abuse. You're not going to forget boundaries. You're not going to forget who these people truly are. Period. Don't ever forget, in fact. But forgiveness is saying, all right, you know what? They've hurt me, they wronged me, but I'm going to let them deal with their just desserts. I'm not going to sit here and seek revenge. I'm not going to further screw up my life worrying about them. I'm not going to further screw up my life trying to battle them, trying to destroy them, trying to take them down, blah, blah, blah. No, forgiveness is saying, you know what? They're going to have to deal with their karma. I'm putting up boundaries, I'm putting up walls, I'm going no contact, I'm doing low contact, I'm gray rocking, I'm blocking, I'm this, I'm that. But I choose to release my anger and hatred and bitterness. And remember, it's a daily decision, because you're gonna wake up some days and remember something, see something, hear something. You're gonna run into them, or if you're their family, or if they're, if you're a co-parent with them, they're gonna say or do something that's gonna get under your skin. And you're like, you gotta remember right there. All right, gotta get back to forgiveness. It's not easy. It's necessary, though. It's not the cool thing to do, but it's the best thing to do, right? The only way you're gonna start healing up is by consciously choosing to let that pain and that anger and that hurt go. And again, it's a daily decision. It's not an easy decision. Some days it's easier than others. Some days you get up like, yeah, I think I'm all right, moving on. And the other days it's like, oh my God, I want to string them up. Right? And forgiving yourself is crucial. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because, you hear all the time how, you're a codependent, you must be broken, or, you don't have healthy boundaries and this and that. Yeah, look, most of us were not brought up to understand healthy boundaries and healthy relationships and healthy dynamics and interpersonal relationships. Most of us, most of us, okay? Let's not start, feeling down about that. Now, can you learn? Absolutely. There's resources out there. There's books. There's videos. There's blog articles. There's all this information out there about how to be a healthy individual with healthy relationship dynamics. There's plenty of information out there. However, if you just think that, you know, however, if you feel like, oh, you know, I'm going to get down on myself for not knowing this information or not always applying it, don't do that. Please forgive yourself. All right? And the way that you show yourself, because remember, your inner voice, which is a very, very key part of your inner psyche, if you start listening to it, or you didn't listen to it, which is how you ended up with these individuals, how you show yourself that you're truly back on track, start listening to your inner voice again. Okay? Build that trust up with yourself. Forgive yourself. Make a daily choice. When you start thinking about all the times you let them slide with disrespecting you, lying to you, cheating on you, stealing from you, hey, listen, you know what? I forgive myself. I didn't know what I know now. I felt something was off. I didn't honor myself, but I learned from it. I got better. Now I'm a better person. That's what you have to keep reminding yourself. Otherwise, you're going to constantly be working. You're going to constantly be digging yourself into a bigger and bigger ditch of self-hate, self-loathing, regret, bitterness, all that stuff. Like, don't do it. Yeah, I messed up. I got with the wrong person, got with the wrong people, I got around the wrong crowd. I let so-and-so, uncle so-and-so, auntie so-and-so disrespect me too long and too much. But I forgive myself, and from this day on, I'm changing that. I'm not going to allow them to do that. I'm setting up boundaries. I'm going to stick to my boundaries. I'm going to go no contact. I'm going to stop looking at their social media. Right? Forgive yourself. Once you start doing that, it's like, I guarantee you, excuse me. And again, this is something that I know from experience. This is something that I practice. This is something that I see other survivors practice on a daily. Once you do that, your life starts to open up, starts to flourish. You could be in the midst of a drought, mentally, emotionally, financially, and all of a sudden, little blessings come along. Little messages from the universe, from fate, from God, all that. Yeah, you're on the right track. Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry, you'll be okay. So, I hope this video helps. Please, forgive yourselves. Forgive those who hurt you. And mind you, again, please, don't worry with telling the narc that you forgive them. Okay? A narc don't care that you forgave them. In fact, the narc would be like, really? You forgave me? That means I can do it again, right? Don't give them that leeway. That's like a badge of honor. See, narcs don't forgive at all. That's the problem. If you hurt them, usually inadvertently, because guess what? We're all human. All they do is record that and just use that as an like artillery, right? They put that in the back of their head. So when they go after you later on down the road, or they betray you, they say, well, it's all your fault, because do you remember on July 18th, 2003, you said this in the movie theater? Like, what? I thought we were over this already. We talked about it. Oh, no. I'm still mad. Okay? They will never forgive you. However, they will use forgiveness to cover up their nonsense, which is why, and look, I know some of y'all are going to disagree and get all mad, but I'm going to say it as I see it. Which is why when you go to church, a lot of churches, you're going to see a whole roach motel of narcs. Because they'll use the doctrine of Jesus Christ, and they'll use forgiveness and empathy and all that as a way to say, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm hurting people, but gotta forgive me. Jesus forgives me. Which means you gotta let me slide, because, you know, if God who created the universe has his son pardoning me, then, you know, why shouldn't you? You know, just let me do what I want. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can forgive them without telling them that you forgave them. You can forgive yourself too, on the low, on the quiet. Okay? You'll be all right. Remember, in life, you either going through it or you're growing through it. You gotta grow, baby, grow. Have a good one, y'all.